Another war? A question without answer. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast, silent battlefield where the dust has finally settled, but the air still vibrates with the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions. If you have ever wondered why we destroy what we love, why we bleed for borders drawn in the sand, and when the cycle will finally break, then stay with me. Because today, we look into the mirror of our own history to find the soul of peace. The story of humanity is often told through the sharp edge of a sword and the deafening roar of a cannon. From the very first moment, civilizations rose from the fertile soil of the Tigris and Euphrates. The shadow of conflict has followed our footsteps like a persistent ghost. We look back at the ancient texts, at the chronicles of the Old Testament, where brothers turned against brothers, and tribes fought for the favor of the divine or the ownership of a well. We see the great empires of Rome and Persia, the Crusades of the Middle Ages, and the terrifying mechanical slaughter of the First and Second World Wars. The weapons changed from bronze to steel, then to gunpowder, and finally to the splitting of the atom, yet the underlying rhythm remained the same. But beyond the dates of battles and the names of generals lies a darker, more intimate history, the history of the human heart under siege. War is not just a geopolitical event, it is a profound trauma that ripples through generations. Consider the soul of the soldier, the young man or woman sent to the front lines. They go with flags waving and anthems playing, but they return, if they return at all, carrying a silence that no words can pierce. We must speak of the psychological scars, the invisible wounds that bleed long after the physical ones have healed. The terror of the trench, the sudden flash of an explosion, and the haunting eyes of a fallen comrade create a phantom world that the veteran can never truly leave. This is the weight of post-traumatic stress, a heavy cloak of hypervigilance and grief that smothers the joys of civilian life, turning home into a place that feels foreign, and peace into a state that feels dangerous. And what of those who are left behind? For every soldier on the battlefield, there is a family anchored in a different kind of agony. There is the mother who flinches every time there is a knock at the door, the father who scans the casualty lists with trembling hands, and the spouse who wakes in the middle of the night to an empty bed. The wait for news is a slow, agonizing erosion of the spirit. In the silence of the home, the clock ticks like a countdown to a tragedy that may have already happened 1,000 miles away. This collective anxiety, this shared breath held by millions across history, is a cost of war that no treasury can ever repay. The trauma of the missing and the fallen creates a void in the social fabric, leaving children to grow up in the shadow of a ghost and communities to be built around monuments of sorrow rather than foundations of hope. Why? For what purpose do we sacrifice our sons and daughters to the fire of war? If we peel back the layers of religious zeal, territorial disputes, national honor, and the cold calculations of security, we find that the justifications are merely the skin of the fruit. Inside, the core remains unchanged. To understand the why, we must look past the maps and the ideologies and peer into the deep, dark well of the human psyche. What is it that we are truly seeking when we pick up a stone or a rifle? At the foundation of every struggle, there is a fundamental human hunger. We seek security, the basic need to know that our children will wake up safe and that our borders are unbreachable. We seek recognition, the desire for our culture, our beliefs, and our very existence to be acknowledged as significant by the world. We seek prosperity, the drive to ensure our resources are abundant and our future is bright. And perhaps most importantly, we seek identity, the need to belong to something greater than ourselves, a tribe, a nation, or a faith. These desires are not evil. They are the very things that make us human. However, the tragedy of our species is that these noble pursuits often transform into the engines of destruction. Conflict erupts in that precise moment, when our fear begins to outweigh our empathy. It happens when the cold pursuit of power overrides our internal ethical compass. It happens when our specific identity, the us, becomes more important than our common humanity, the we. War is never just about the hardware of death. It is a battle of narratives, a collision of ghosts, and a failure to see our own reflection in the eyes of the enemy. We must also confront the devastating reality of what war does to the progress of our species. Every dollar spent on a missile is a dollar stolen from a classroom. Every brilliant mind lost on a battlefield is a cure for a disease that will now never be found, or a scientific breakthrough that will remain undiscovered for another century. War is the ultimate thief of time and potential. When we engage in conflict, we freeze the evolution of our civilization. We divert our greatest resources, our creativity, our wealth, and our young lives into the machinery of regression. Imagine where humanity could be today if the trillions of hours and resources poured into destruction had been channeled into exploring the stars, protecting our environment, or eradicating poverty. War doesn't just kill people. It kills the future we were supposed to build together. We are told that war is inevitable, that it is written in our DNA. But if that were true, why does every human heart long so desperately for harmony? We are people of goodwill, living in a world of complexity, feeling the weight of global tensions in our own quiet moments. The peace we seek is not merely the absence of noise or the temporary silence of guns. It is the presence of justice and the courage to choose vulnerability over the armor of hatred. The patterns of the past do not have to be the blueprints of the future. The path to peace begins when we realize that the person on the other side of the fence is driven by the same fears and the same dreams as we are. When will we find peace? Perhaps it is not a destination at the end of a long road, but a choice we make in every interaction. It is found when we decide that our shared breath is more sacred than the lines we draw on a map. It is found when we recognize that true power is not the ability to destroy, but the strength to build a table where everyone has a seat. We are the authors of the next chapter. We are the ones who must decide if the echoes of the past will define the music of tomorrow. The dawn is coming, and with it, the chance to lay down the burdens of ancient grudges. Let us look toward a horizon where the only thing we conquer is our own prejudice, and the only territory we claim is the heart of our fellow man. For in the end, we are all travelers on the same small, beautiful blue marble, drifting through the infinite dark, and our only true light is the love we bear for one another. We are currently witnessing a profound moment of planetary transformation. This is a shift that invites us to outgrow our primitive impulses and move toward a more humanized, more empathetic Earth. This transition is calling for a new consciousness, one where compassion is our primary language and global solidarity our only armor. May this transformation arrive swiftly and take root in every corner of our world, for we are finally on the path to becoming the humanity we were always meant to be. May your path be paved with understanding. May your heart be a sanctuary for the weary. And may you find the courage to be the peace you wish to see in this world. If you love this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world to us and helps us grow. And hey, while you're at it, let's aim for 50 likes on this video. Help us smash that goal.